Hey everyone, it's Tammy. Yeah. I actually don't even know what I want to talk about today. It's just that my commitment into vlogging about this entire thing has been well, it's something that I set aside time for, and then I get here and I'm like, well, what am I going to say? So for those of you who have just joined me, welcome. Thank you for being here. I invite you to stick with this. This is going to be quite the journey. Again, if you're not familiar with me, I just had breast cancer surgery 2 days ago. And so this stuff here, this redness, apparently is a result of the general anesthesia. I don't even remember. I know I did a video yesterday. I just don't even remember what I said in it because essentially I'm still coming out of a coma. Yeah, and so I know the last thing I heard when I walked out of the hospital on Wednesday evening that I needed to drink plenty of water, and well, I really didn't do that yesterday. I didn't have much of an appetite. It was everything I could do. I had company. It was great. My son's girlfriend came over and spent the day with me, which was fabulous. I just had a really nice time just talking, but I didn't drink a lot, and so now I have this redness. Now, this is fat because I apparently bit down on the intubation tube and really hurt myself. That's really painful. And but beyond that, I am dealing with a lot of mixed emotions, wanting to move forward in my field, which is aromagenomics, which is a division of, or an expansion on, is a better way to say it, an expansion on aromatherapy. And since these diagnoses, which also includes these spots here, and I've got one on my chest too, skin cancer. I know I've said this in other videos, but I'm going to say it again. It's a real testimony as to why we don't need to be researching our symptoms online, because I swear to you, I did not think these were skin cancer. I did not. I thought it was some kind of like maybe psoriasis, possibly, you know. Years ago, I was told that I might have lupus. Boy, this looks like that now, doesn't it? So I always thought this might become some kind of plaque lesion that just developed as a result of psoriasis, or, you know, possibly lupus, but it was always a probable thing. It wasn't, you know, it wasn't a confirmed thing. And now, since going to the doctor in October for my foot, because for over 10 years I've had pain in the largest knuckle of my right toe, but it's beginning to become misshapen, and it got to the point where if a blanket was resting on my foot, it would actually hurt that area. So I'm like, I want to go in. And then I went in, and they thought I had a bunion, so they sent me to a podiatrist. In the meantime, they also sent me for a routine mammogram, which resulted in breast cancer, and I never saw that coming. And I know if you've already seen some of, you know, these other videos, then you've heard me say this, but this is kind of me just like working through everything at this point. So, long story short, after 2 months, there was skin cancer, breast cancer, and osteoarthritis, as well as scoliosis. So the foot isn't even a bunion thing. It's just the fact I'm bone on bone. There's no cartilage there. The doctor insists I injured my foot when I was a kid, but I never did. I mean, yeah, I never did. So, and now apparently I have arthritis in both feet. These are the areas of the body that have been examined by x-rays. So both feet and my spine, including to the top of my cervical spine, the top of my, the very tippy top of my spine, bottom to top. So all of this comes down to histamine. Regardless, there's a histamine production that's happening. And so, like I said, I'm trying to find inspiration in all of this, as instead of just feeling like, oh my God, I feel like I've just been hit by a truck. And so today I've been working on furthering my understanding of serine threonine kinase, which is stimulated from the ATM gene. And the ATM gene is generally activated through DNA damage. And it's fair to say that, well, you can, anywhere you look, there's a lot of evidence to show that psychological stress is actually a culprit. Hang on a second. Yeah, there we go. Psychological stress has been identified with breast cancer, urinary issues. I mean, it's just, it's in everything. Because what it's doing is it's actually activating the phospholipase C pathway, which then stimulates the production of oxidative stress. And all of this comes as a result of, like I said, it could be just psychological distress. You know, not many people talk about environmental factors, although they will mention like a disruption to the neuroendocrine system, which is going to be chemical from the environment. So all of this is happening to most of us. And so right now I'm on a mission to support telomerase more specifically, to keep the telomeres at an adequate size to protect our chromosomes that will diminish the amount of DNA damage that's occurring. So all these years, especially the last few, I've been talking about the stress mechanism, never even touching on DNA damage. But yet when I was backtracking why, you know, because there's a lot of, you can go online and you can find a lot of genes involved with the, with breast cancer. Yeah, that's not satisfactory to me. That's not enough information. That's just going, okay, well, most research papers or documents will say that this is because of a mutation in the genetics. Well, it's not necessarily a mutation. I don't like that word because it makes it sound like the body's broken. Ideally, what's happening is the DNA is damaged. And I say ideally because you know, maybe that's not the best word. But it is, because it's actually working. The DNA is in need of help. It needs to repair itself. Now, here's the funny thing. I've actually helped heal beehives because the DNA throughout nature is the same. It's just the placement of the polypeptides. And so DNA repairs itself through purines and xanthine. And really, it really comes back to stabilizing the body and supporting the DNA to repair itself, because in many respects, the DNA is being selfish. DNA is damaged. Hello, I need help. Oxidative stress, you know, it changes the chemistry of the body in order to fix itself. This is what the DNA is trying to do. But it's a way of being selfish in order to be selfless, because once that DNA is repaired and capable of helping you to thrive, now the oxidative stress backs off. It doesn't produce, the body doesn't produce it anymore, and the inflammation dissipates. But the fact that the histamine 1 receptor is heavily involved in all of this is indicative of, you know, the immune system being under attack. So that's big. That's really big. And so many people who are struggling with histamine intolerance, even without a diagnosis, I mean, this is what's happening. And so it's DNA damage, period. So really working to assist the body. And that's where I'm at right now, of formulating some things. Now, as far as I'm concerned, I'm about ready to go out for a walk because I need some movement. I'm hoping that movement will actually get some of this stuff out of my system. I'm also using Mei Chang and juniper to kind of help flesh things out. So that's what I'm on a mission to do today. And also I wanted to say that anybody who has recently gone through surgery or is about to go through surgery, check out my document on essential oils with blood thinning properties and the collaborating constituents. Because once you've had that surgery, you don't want to use them for up to almost a week before your surgery. And then right after your surgery, you can start using them. Because why? Because the last thing anybody wants to happen or for you to encounter are blood clots. So, yeah, you want to use those. But now there's another level I'm taking it. And I know I mentioned it yesterday with regards to sedative oils being used in conjunction with anesthetic. So you want to avoid that too. But I'll put that list together. But I'm really focused right now on helping people, actually helping myself. I'm really focused on helping myself. I really want to help you. I really, really do. And I'm using this as a chance to dig in and actually uncover what we all need to thrive in this world. And I somehow or another, I'm hooked on DNA damage. And like I said, the telomeres, helping the body to actually continue to maintain the size of the telomeres so that the DNA is no longer being activated as, because it's being damaged. It's no longer protected. And the first thing you can do, besides anything else, is to really begin to minimize your psychological distress. That means your moods and your emotions, the way you think. Because these are all being indicated in every one of these. And that will, that level of excitability, that level of distress activates the autonomic nervous system. It activates the immune system. And, histamine is released from the mast cells. We experience fatigue. I mean, it's a mess. It's an absolute mess that we actually have the ability to regulate. Even if we just start with the way we think and the way we allow ourselves to emote. It's nothing wrong with feeling angry. I mean, be real, be human, and then transmute it. Find a way to let it go. That's all transmutation means, is letting it go, using it to your advantage. Like, if you're angry right now and what can you do to serve others? Would be a great way to start. Like, if you've got family members, how can you support them? If you've got neighborhood, if you've got neighbors who are in need, how can you help them? Being of service really makes a big difference in the way we interact with the world and the way we relate to ourselves. I'm sorry I'm stuttering so much. But even the way we relate to ourselves is huge. The more we get to serve this world, the better off we all are, because we can eliminate or at least diminish that psychological stress, even if it's temporary. But at that point, you can begin to recognize how easy it is to let it go. And then you get to practice it with yourself, because that is huge when it comes to, like I said, to any level of degeneration, whether you've got a diagnosis or not. Because histamine will be released from the mast cells and it becomes a mess. So I'm tired. I'm going to go outside, get some fresh air and some movement, and just know how much I appreciate you being here on this journey. Let me know if you have any questions. I will tag that document again for oil blood thinners, and then I will make sure to complete my sedative list as well today, so that you can have that too. All right. Thanks, you guys. I will talk with you tomorrow.